from last meeting.
Amber, do we have to read
Amber?
minutes from last meeting?
No, we don't have to read.
I
Can
think we approve the minutes from last meeting.
we just pull up one second while we're getting ready to finish loading? Okay. Okay, you're good.
Okay. Okay, petition number here. 202-60072. And this petition right here is for Paul and Smith and Haywood. A request for a variance to allow a second residence on the parcel located at 0140 West 450 South, North Judson, Indiana. Special number 75-09-12-200-000-013. Okay, so are they here? Okay,
That's it.
and so what are we, you're wanting a variance for another parcel on a parcel, right? Sir. Turn it over to Amber.
I'm gonna go ahead and read through this real quick
Yes,
on the proposal, and then we'll turn it over to the commissioner.
Okay,
So here's the process.
okay, thank you. Yeah, please.
So for this, the request type is a variance of use. The zoning district is agricultural. The proposal is to allow a second residence on a single parcel. We do have an ordinance that is every dwelling unit shall be located on an existing lot or a parcel having a clear records, legal, unobstructed. Vehicular utility access to public road or street and shall be the only principal building on the lot except as otherwise provided in the article. The address is 0140 West 450 South, North Judson. You had read off the parcel number. All public notices were sent out. They were all received, all certified mail. It was done. Legal ad was posted in the newspaper. This is just going over the property card. The property is a 15-acre lot. It currently houses a single family home that's 3,000 square feet with a detached garage, a pole barn, and a gazebo on the parcel. The proposed use is to place a small modular home on an existing single family residential parcel to accommodate the medical necessary on-site care of an immediate family member. The surrounding land is agricultural with residents. They do have 1,000 feet of road frontage on the parcel. Here is the GIS image. If you can kind of see that house, pole barn, gazebo. So this just came off our GIS map. This is the parcel of the 15 acres. And here is 450 South. This is an image just from the road from Google Maps. So the current house is here and the pole barn back there and the gazebo and a pond. We go to the staff facts of finding John has prepared.
Okay, let me preface this. I apologize, everyone going forward. It might seem harsh. But the finding of facts from the staff level is strictly zoning. It has nothing to do with who you are or why you're doing it, right? I'm looking at the questions, I'm answering the questions based on the zoning laws. So the staff finding of facts. Because this one's a medical hardship, there's 3 questions that need to be answered. Is it medically necessary and caregiver proximity? Does the person for whom the variance is sought have a documented medical condition that prevents them from living outside a nursing home or other assisted living residence without help that the caregiver could not give if the caregiver did not live on the same property? I put no. The reasoning is because the petitioner failed to provide documentation of a medical condition that prevents them from living outside a nursing home or assisted living facility. Furthermore, the submitted floor plan does not include ADA compliant features or accessibility accommodations indicative of a severe medical hardship. It's not against you guys, it's strictly zoning. Annual verification. One of the rules for a medical hardship is there a stipulated condition of this approval that the medical need for this variance must be demonstrated and reviewed on an annual basis. Nothing was submitted by the petitioner stating that they would review it or have it reviewed on an annual basis. The removal of the dwelling. Is there a clear enforceable condition that one of the dwellings will be removed from the property within a maximum of 180 days when the medical need for the variance has ended? It's cut off. However, no submitted decommissioning plan or demolition plan was submitted with the case, showing that it would be achieved and conducted within 180 days of the variance no longer being needed. And those are the staff's finding of facts. Keep going.
So now, here are some pictures that were submitted by the petitioners. This is the current parcel, the proposed house would go on here. This is also just a site of the plot where they put the proposed house on this side of the parcel. This is pictures of the, I believe, type of home petitioners have given us, that this would be the type of home they'd be looking at to place on the parcel. The petitioner did fill out their application complete and did answer their questions on why this was needed. So we will turn this over to the petitioners. Go through their findings of fact. But they did state in their findings of fact that they turned in during their application that the property is an existing family residence. Permitted and economically viable use within the zoning district. Small modular home is requested to provide safe medical necessary on-site care for an immediate family member. Parcel's large size and natural separation allow for an additional dwelling without crowding or impacting neighboring properties. The need is based on a unique medical circumstance and limitations of an existing home which cannot safely accommodate required care. The hardship was not created by an applicant that arises for unforeseen health-related needs requiring close daily support. The request represents the minimum necessary relief with no commercial use, added density, or subdivision proposed. The placement is carefully planned to minimize impact on the land, preserving vegetation, wildlife, and overall rural character. The variance is consistent with zoning intent and will not alter the character of the neighborhood or create a disruption.
At
I
this
have,
time, sir, you can hand it over to the petitioner and then they will speak.
Yes, I was just about to do that. So what do you have to say? What is your reasoning? Why do you want to have this then?
My mother would be the person to move on, who we would like to move on to our property. She lives out of state currently in Illinois, and I have two other siblings who do not live with her. And she's getting up there in age. She has a couple medical conditions, which I would just feel safer her being close. I still want her to have her own independency with having her own building to be able to go there. We have 4 young children, which is just a lot in the house, and as you saw.
I did.
And so I would just like her to have her own independence, but I'm a nurse and I want to be her full-time caregiver. And it's just, we moved from Illinois. I don't want to have to move back. It would just be easier for her to come live here on our property.
Is she handicapped?
She is not physically handicapped, where she's like in wheelchair bound or anything, but I mean, she's got one of her main things is macular degeneration, and it's getting harder for her to see. And that's one of the main things. And then our home, she does have a room at our house, but it's down in the basement in our and that's about 12 steps.
Yeah.
12 steps, and it's getting hard for her to go up and down. She's starting to get really bad arthritis. And that's why we want to get her like a nice single level home, a modular home on our property, so she can have her still be independent, but close enough where I can go in and take care of her and do whatever is necessary.
And it would just be a slab, so it's not gonna be like a poured basement or anything, it's just a simple slab. And then Clayton Homes, they were gonna just drop it on there, and then that was the idea.
So it's a modular.
One level, correct,
Mhm.
one level for her, she doesn't have any stairs going up or down. That's her eyesight, as it's worse.
And the garage is not for a car, it's for storage. Since she's not gonna have a basement or anything, the garage is just extra storage that she wants, where we are gonna be her main mode of transportation with her eyesight and stuff.
Okay. Anybody on the board have anything to say about this? About any
I'm assuming because it's so far from the other house, it's gonna have its own septic system.
Yes.
And stuff like that. 450. You guys aren't on mound systems on 450, are you? A mound system? Now it's underground? Yeah, okay.
It's the special.
Septic system.
Septic system.
Oh,
Where there's higher flooding, they put them.
Oh.
If you don't know, you don't have it.
Yeah.
If all your neighbors don't have big pumps in their yard, you're good.
Oh, okay, no.
Anybody else? You got
You
anything?
can open up to the petitioner presentation and public comment.
I know, but do you have anything? Is
Nope.
there any public comment? Anybody from around there? No, for their home. There any county ordinances on doing this? Are we doing this for hardship or?
Yeah, there's a county ordinance, it was in the beginning of our slide, that prevents them from building a second dwelling. There is a specific medical variance that they can request through the BZA, which is the route they chose. Here's the route.
now, if it's modular, we're not building it, would that matter?
No, it's still a
No,
residence.
as long as the foundation is to code, the state licensed modular homes, so as long as you're using a licensed set crew, they do all the hookups, so I will inspect the foundation and I'll do a final inspection. Everything else is done.
Yeah, because we're paying them to do it all
Yep.
legally and properly, so.
Yep.
I don't know how to do any of that.
Okay. Is there any more public comments at all? Going once, no public comments. Number two, no comments. And no comments, number three, okay. So I make a motion to close public comments.
You just close it.
Yeah, so we're gonna close it. This time. Um. Board members, anybody have any motion or anything towards this?
I'm not seeing anything here that would be problematic. You?
No,
Okay,
they got plenty of acreage. If we told them no, they'd come back and split it off. It's just more meetings.
right,
So,
do I hear a motion on the floor?
I motion to grant it. On the medical use variance.
Okay, your second,
Second.
aye,
Aye.
motion granted,
We do have to stipulate a condition of the approval of the reviewed on an annual basis, correct? That is a
Yeah.
requirement there.
Yeah. They will have to submit a annual review, to make sure the condition that was existed to grant them the variance still exists. And then they will also have to submit a decommissioning plan or a demolition plan of one of the homes in the event the variance is no longer needed.
okay. Understood, okay,
At that point, it might be easier to get the parcel split.
You guys submitting me?
all right,
I will write this at the end.
okay. I think I believe when you get your permit, you have, what, so long that the building commissioner to,
They'll have a year to build. They'll have to do all the same requirements. They'll have to get a highway because it's nowhere near your other property. It's gonna need its own, where you'll have to get a second permit. I'll need site plans, drawings, the typical construction stuff.
I can email you the process for pulling the building permit, what they'll need us.
Thank you, Alan.
okay,
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
well,
Before we finish, we do have to answer these questions because these
oh,
are
yeah,
submitted.
okay, go ahead, ask.
So you guys stated. Yes, there is a medical necessity. Does the person for whom the variance is sought have a documented medical condition that prevents them from living outside a nursing home or other assisted living residence without help the caregiver could not give if the caregiver did not live on the same property? So I need to answer that question so I can write it down.
I believe, yes, she can prove that. Kind of. She's a nurse, I think she knows when she needs to care for her parents.
So I just wrote it down here and I was gonna give it to you after.
You can, if you want to do that.
Okay.
Anything additional, sir?
Excuse me.
Anything additional, or are you good with them too?
I'm good with that. If the board approves it, then I'm fine with it.
Thank you, board. Appreciate it.
Okay. Let's move on to our next case here. Colton and Leah, Lindback. Lindback. Okay.
Kenny, would you like me to go ahead and I can start the
Yes,
review
please.
of this one?
I was just reviewing what it is here. Sorry about
Oh,
that.
you're okay. We do have, variance request for variance of use. This is in the zoning district of ag. The proposal is a variance of use from the agricultural zoning requirements to allow a limited lower intensity business use. Key issue is this is not permitted under the current zoning districts. Pursuant to Article 6 zoning of the Stark County zoning ordinance, the agricultural zoning district permits agricultural uses and certain residential uses as identified within the district classifications and the applicable use schedule. However, under the Article 6 definition sections, agricultural uses specifically exclude the manufacture or processing of agricultural products as stated in the ordinance definition of agricultural use, such as including farming operations and related activities, but shall not include the manufacturing or processing of agricultural products. This address for the parcel will be located on State Road 10. It doesn't have a physical address. It is a non-residential parcel currently. I'll show you the location here in a minute with the GIS. Public notification was confirmed. All certified letters out, public notice, and the newspaper ad were posted. This parcel is currently, it was owned by Mark and Debbie Bailey. With I think Leah and Colton purchasing 8 acres of this current parcel. Property currently is 53.8 acres, so 8 acres would come out of this. With enough road frontage, that wasn't a concern, but it's 53 acres, they'll split the 8 acres out of it. This is ag farm ground. The variance of use from agricultural zoning requirements to allow a limited lower intensity business use. The road frontage will be 290 feet, I believe. This is a picture, if you're looking on State Road 10 headed west. Here's a picture if you're on State Road 10 heading east. Bass Lake would be right here. Facts of finding. John's gonna go ahead and go over those really quick.
Okay,
Your statement.
same thing applies. I'm sorry. I'm just looking at it from a zoning and thing. All right. So this one is a use variance. There's 5 questions. All 5 must be answered in order for it to be approved, technically. Public health and safety. Will the approval be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare? The staff finds yes, because as submitted, the plant or the factory or warehouse is going to be 18,000 square feet. An 18,000 square foot meat processing facility introduces high volume water demands and intensive bio waste and wastewater generation. So sitting a commercial facility of this magnitude on an 8-acre agricultural parcel raises significant concerns regarding groundwater protection and the capacity of on-site septic and well systems to safely handle industrial level effluent without injuring public health and without substantial conditions of approval. The agency adjacent property. Will the use and value of the adjacent property be adversely affected? The staff finds yes, because the commercial nature of an 18,000 square foot processing plant is fundamentally incompatible with neighboring standard agricultural and rural residential properties. The scale of this operation brings guaranteed commercial truck traffic, loading noise, refrigeration units, and distinct odors that will substantially degrade the quiet enjoyment and property values of adjacent rural land. Peculiar condition. Does the property have a peculiar condition that makes it unsuitable for the permitted uses in its current zoning district? The staff finds no, because there are no unique topographical, environmental, or physical constraints on this 8-acre parcel that prevent it from being used for standard permitted agricultural purposes. For example, farming, or as a rural homestead. Unnecessary hardship. Does the strict application of the ordinance constitute an unnecessary hardship? The staff finds no, a hardship does not exist, because the property can still be economically utilized for standard agricultural purposes. The Stark County zoning ordinance deliberately restricts meat processing and slaughterhouses to industrial zones as a conditional use, attempting to build an intensive restricted industrial operation onto agricultural land is self-imposed, not an unnecessary hardship inherent to the property itself. And the comprehensive plan. Does the approval substantially interfere with the county's comprehensive plan? The staff finds yes, because the comprehensive plan and the zoning ordinance explicitly reserve meat processing and slaughterhouses for industrial zones, subject to the strict scrutiny of conditional use approval by the BZA. Granting a use variance to allow an 18,000 square foot facility in an agricultural zone completely subverts the established zoning map and legislative intent of the county, interfering directly with the goal of separating heavy industrial impacts from rural and agricultural areas.
Would you like to explain, I guess, next, what your plan is here?
So it's not 18,000 square feet, it'd be 15,000. And 6,000 of those would be cooler and freezer space. It's not like that's gonna be, we're not looking to be a Tyson's, nothing like that, nothing more than. If you've ever been up to Sims up in Kingsbury, equal to that in size. We really want to give that intersection. People that drive to and from work every single day, a nice little retail. We're not looking to be huge, nothing like that. We're looking at 8, starting out at max, it's gonna be 8 cows and 16 hogs per week. So, and that's. Yeah. But yeah, 15,000, not 18.
You're not talking semi trucks and stuff.
No.
You're just talking a
Semi-truck.
small business,
Truck and trailer, yep,
Family operated.
family operated, local.
yep.
Have you already researched all the EPA? As
Yes,
far as,
yeah.
it's kind of low, isn't it, off the highway? Is
Yeah.
that a bit of a drop?
Yeah, there's a little bit there.
How do you plan on building that property up to grade level?
Hauling sand in.
And how much property is this gonna be that you're gonna put it on? 8 acres?
8 acres.
You're gonna build up 8 acres of,
Not the whole property, no. Just where the building is actually gonna sit. So he's might be more.
Yeah, I've been helping them a lot with the planning and whatnot, so, I know one of the first questions we had up there with the water usage. There's a very similar facility down in southern Indiana, and we've been working with IDEM on facility usage and whatnot there. They average about 3,000 gallons of water a day. So we're gonna be somewhere inside that ballpark. An 8-inch pivot that runs for an hour uses about 30,000 gallons a day. So, or sorry, 30,000 gallons an hour. So we're gonna use, as far as water in there, a significantly less amount of water in our processing facility or in our butcher shop essentially than what any pivot you see running during the summer will use. As far as the lane being low, it is lower there off the highway because the highway's built up. However, the ditch is about 2.5 meters lower that runs on the backside of that than what that property is. So there's sufficient drainage once we get it built and once we get engineered that way. And we are working with the state and through IDEM to.
what kind of drainage?
So we'll basically have 2 separate septic systems. One will be a traditional septic system that you see like on houses and whatnot.
Right.
And for any of the processing side, it will be a series of 6 individual tanks in a septic system style that will filter everything out multiple times. So your normal house has got one tank and it filters through there. This will have 6 different tanks in a series to continue to filter out anything from the processing side. From there, it'll probably end up, again, working with IDEM. The state will guide us on exactly what we have to have based on soil borings and everything else, so we conform to their rules. But we'll probably end up with a very small, shallow pond that sits towards the back there for anything that makes it all, for the clean water once it flows all the way through all 6 individual systems.
So this pond that you're talking about is is a holding pond and it's going to hold waste products?
It will only hold clean products after it's been through.
After it's
all
been
the
filtered.
steps. Yes.
Okay, and the ditch purpose would be for what?
Just more drainage off the property. We're not.
Okay,
planning
just
on
prop-
anything
just
in the
property
ditch.
drainage,
Yes, yeah,
okay.
No, we have, that was just, you mentioned the property was low. It is lower off the highway, but that highway is substantially built up there. I believe just about everything's low compared to the highway on that side.
There's a problem over that way already. One of my personal concerns is there's a lot of accidents right there in 10 and 35. And do you think, don't you think that it may increase the traffic flow and accidents, or have you thought
There's-
about that?
There's about 7,500 cars a day that run through that intersection.
Okay,
I can't see us pulling enough people to substantially increase that one way or there. I mean, Bass Lake's gonna have a draw 1,000 times over what anything we would have as far as anybody in it. I don't, basically, we've got no more than 20 to 25 cars a day, or, trucks and pickup truck trailers coming through to drop off, and those will be on specific days. It's
Okay,
essentially.
so all your traffic will be coming off of 10 and not County Road 350, right?
At the moment, yes, that's correct. We're working with
The
state.
neighbors wouldn't be having semis or cars and trailers going up and down that county. It'll be all highway access to this place.
That's the plan at the moment. Again.
Well, either it is or it isn't.
We have to wait on the state to tell us what we can do there. We have to get we're here first because in order for us to submit plans to the state, we have to have a parcel. In order for IDEM to approve us the rest of the way, we have to have a parcel. So this is step 1. So there are some answers we can give you as to what our plans are. And we've talked to the state preliminarily. We've talked to the NDOT over in LaPorte about what our plans are, about car usage, about traffic usage. They said once we have a parcel and we can hand them this piece of paper that this is where it's going to be, then they can run their studies and figure out just how wide the driveway is.
So this is the preliminary meeting.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right, so.
We have looked at another property, or Limbex have looked at another property previously to this, back in 2025. The feasibility of that location did not work out, so this is a second attempt at.
Yeah, I remember that. We gave you permission to reopen up the old Jetson meat packing place, and you're not going to use that now?
Yeah, correct. So
Okay, so that was something I was wondering about. You already got one, why would you need two?
No,
that building was too far around that,
Okay,
yeah.
it's just,
Deal,
yeah, it was not cost effective then.
correct,
Okay.
yeah. We would have spent more renovating.
Right. So, how far off the road do you plan on putting this thing off the highway there?
Right now we've got it set, I believe, 120 feet. And that is adjustable depending on, I believe 100 feet was the limit for how far your setback has
Yeah,
to be.
I have some pictures up here that the Limbex have submitted. So, go back here, but of the 8 acres, they were looking at possibly placing it here. From here, you can see that this it's 1,000 foot from the road all the way back to the ditch. So anywhere within that 8 acres, they could possibly locate it.
And your septic is gonna be south of that.
Yeah, south of that, headed towards the ditch. And again, as far as placement forward and backwards, depending on what you guys need and what IDEM needs, that
It's a
can be
whole
adjusted
system.
Yeah,
within a
it's a
couple
whole
feet. That's not gonna be set in stone.
So how far would you be east of the closest resident?
I believe if I remember right, it's right at 1,500 feet.
Well, the closest residence would be across the highway, other side.
Right, I'm familiar with
Okay,
the
yeah, yeah. I believe we're like 950 front door to front door as the crow flies. So about 1,000 feet plus or minus,
from
front door to front door.
of the other residents.
Yeah, across the highway.
900 feet?
I believe it's 950.
Well, the
So-
count, the state owns 50 feet on each side of the highway already,
Yeah.
right?
And
I
again,
mean,
that,
they have right of way,
yeah,
so you got the highway and then you got another 100 feet added to that, and then you're gonna be how far back?
We're about
Off of the
500
state
yeah, about 500 foot off the
requirements.
corner.
So you're gonna be quite back from the state.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Can I open this up to public comment? Anybody here in the public? We gotta make a motion or just open it up?
I do have 3 letters to read from the public, so you
Okay.
can read them now or for the rest of the.
Let's do the public comment for those that are here, maybe neighbors, and then we'll also read those two.
So the
Okay.
first ones will be in favor. Anyone who wants to speak, who's in
Yeah,
favor?
is there anybody in favor of this thing? Couple people in favor?
Would anyone like to speak on it?
Okay, so your name, your address, where are you from?
Mark Baby, North Judson, Indiana.
Oh, Mark, okay.
I have actually 3 reasons why I'm here to support Colton. I get a lot of people all the time coming in with business ideas, and I'm happy to sit down and talk with them. And I've never met anybody as prepared as Colton. We sat down over coffee, and I don't care how many questions I ask him. What about this? What about that? What's your thoughts for this? What's your thoughts for that? He had answers. There might have been just a couple he didn't have, and next time I saw him, he had answers. So he's talked with the state. He's visited other facilities that are gonna be very similar to what he has. And so I just feel like he's as prepared as he can be. The other thing that makes me excited, he has a passion for it. He's gonna do it right. I know Colton well, and he's gonna do things right. The other thing, I think it's needed in the county. You know, I think it's needed. And I think we're gonna have some other people that will probably say that same thing. I believe it's needed.
Put it on your property, Ben.
Sir, it is,
That is-
hang on, you get a chance here, Phil. We gotta
You guys get your.
inch our way here. We'll all get a chance, I promise.
This stuff hurts on the baby's mind.
Try to,
have to smell it.
we're gonna get to that.
I'm just.
We're gonna get to that.
We live there.
My
All right.
third reason, I got one other, and I'll be quick. You know, I've got 8 kids. When I grew up, you know what everybody said? I'm leaving Stark County. I'm leaving Stark County. Why? I chose to stay in Stark County because I love Stark County. I'm proud to say that 5 of my children are living in Stark County still. Some doing businesses, some just working, some doing whatever. But when we have a family who is willing to stay in Stark County, create jobs in Stark County, and, you know, raise their family here, it makes for a better county. And so to me, I'm just excited about that. As far as the land goes, I'm selling it far less than it's worth. I don't sell land typically. If you look, I have land, I just farm it. I don't put solar panels on it. I just farm it. It's what I do. And so this is not a matter of me needing to sell land. The only reason I agreed to is because I like a young person being here. And I think he's got a great business plan and I want to see him succeed. So to me, I think it's a great thing.
Okay. Anybody else? Yes.
Yeah, my name's Dallas Schlegg. I'm from North Judson also. I've known Colton and Leah about 12 years now. They're just the best people. They're hardworking. Colton's he's a great friend. Part of my job, I train horses for a living. Part of my job, I catch cows for farmers. They get loose. A lot of times they're on their way to being butchered. Cows, buffalo sometimes, all sorts of weird stuff. But a lot of times they're on their way to being butchered or they're just back from being at an auction. So I get to talk to a lot of people that are dealing with, you know, where they're having to take their animals to get butchered and they go through this whole process and I know there's a lack of that kind of business in our area. And I don't know, I think Colton, I think he's got a passion for it and I think it's needed in this county. I agree with that. And I think he's the guy to do it. So,
All right. Thank you.
like I said.
Anybody else? Sir?
Robert Troike from North Judson. Our family farm has been in Stark County for over 100 years.
Mhm.
We've been in the livestock business the majority of them times. We patronized when Judson Pack was in business. We were able to sell animals to them. We also have grown a considerable freezer beef business. Last year, we happened to sell 25 head of animals that reached out to 40 families to feed them. Economically, a safer quality food, tastier quality food, and our freezer beef business is slowly growing. And local processors are getting further and further away or to handle. The national processors for the cattlemen's associations or the cattle farmers, or every day you can read in newspapers, if you follow ag newspapers and that, packing plants are being shut down because of the lower number of animals. And there is a need for local processors in this area. Plus it provides nourishment for families and economic benefits for the county.
Thank you. Yes.
On behalf of Stark County Economic Development Foundation, I am here to give our full support of the Lindback family's proposal for a meat processing facility. Our region is currently facing a critical gap in meat processing services with the unfortunate loss of Monon Meats. We're facing a huge gap. Currently, several of our Stark County farmers are taking their animals 8 hours round trip. That does damage to the meat. It makes it harder for the farmer. It makes it harder for everyone. If we had this here in our community, it is a need that we need. A facility like Lindback's would directly address these challenges by providing a local modern processing option that supports our agricultural community. I would also like to mention that Monon Meats, the unfortunate facility that burned down, it was in downtown Monon. It had a restaurant directly beside it. It was literally in their downtown, and there was no smell. There was nothing. Their restaurants.
I don't believe that.
Well, they're not
It
cooking.
was.
They are not cooking anything. Like, I think we're comparing them to Tyson's. Tyson's cooks their meat and kills their meat in the same facility. This is not that facility whatsoever. Thank you.
Okay. Well, Donnie was up.
I'm Don Bankley. I think it's good for our county. I think our county needs it. It's gonna give us some more employees for Stark County. I think it's a good thing. I know he did try for Justin Pat. Like he said, it needs a lot of work. They've gutted it. I think moving out, we're pretty much at a good corner right there. And we need it for the county.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, I'm Connie Neininger. I live in White County, but I have been working here in Stark County for several years now on a regional ag strategy. I retired from the Indiana State Department of Agriculture about 6 years ago and started working with communities on how to add more value to all of our agricultural products that we grow and raise, whether it's livestock or whether it's our crops. And so one of the things we found out, we spent a lot of time calling on agribusinesses, food processors, on farmers, asking them what it is they need. And this is not just in Stark County, which we spent a lot of time here, but it was in all of our surrounding counties also, what we call the Kankakee Iroquois Regional Planning Commission, which includes 8 counties, Jasper, Newton, Benton, White, Carroll, Stark, Pulaski. And so in those interviews, we realized that we were very short on meat processing. And these questions were done before Monon Meat burnt down last year. And again, I'm very familiar with that site. They were right in downtown Monon. Also, Royal Center has a meat processing facility that is going to be similar to the Lindbacks. It's right in downtown Royal Center. So again, there's, the type that they are looking at is a custom processing facility. They're not going to be cooking. It is going to be bringing the animals in. They put them into the process quickly, They have to stay overnight, but it's in enclosed pens. They handle the waste because they don't want that waste being transported back to any farm. So there is a lot of cleaning and storage that has to happen in this facility as they go through that. So when we develop this ag strategy, what we want to do is we wanted to work with the farmers that are producing our product. We need to keep more of our food here locally. And that was one of our goals, how to get more of the locally grown food into the local consumers' hands. That includes processing. We need to have that processing here close to the community. Right now, we have some producers, livestock producers that have to travel hours, even distances down to southern Indiana to get their livestock processed. They also have to wait sometimes up to 12 months, which means they're spending more money handling the feed for that livestock. It then goes past the prime, and so the quality starts to deteriorate. Having something right here within Stark County is going to be a huge benefit to your producers right here. So as we talk about this, we're looking at the food supply chain, whether it's farmers markets, local restaurants. What can we do to help them? I have been working with Colton and Leah to help them develop their business plan. I've made the connections with them to the Department of Environmental Management, which will handle the NPDES discharge if needed. Also with the Board of Animal Health that will control their permitting for this facility and for the inspections that have to happen. This will be a state inspected facility. And so they have certain rules and guidelines that must be met at all times. And so I do encourage a favorable consideration of this project because it is supporting not just them, it is supporting every farmer out there in this community. Thank you very much.
Phil, go ahead.
Hold on. You're against, right, sir?
Right.
I'm against. Yep, she's gotta finish fours first. She's gotta read
Gotta
through
read
it.
these.
Okay,
Yeah.
So the first one I have submitted by Roberta and Darren Lee of Knox, Indiana. I'd like to write my support of the new butcher shop. The new location is perfect for access all areas of Stark County. This will be an amazing addition to the county. I'm asking that the BZA grant the variance of use. Next one is Stark County Farm Bureau Incorporated would like to formally support petition number 2, Colton and Leah Lindback request for a variance of use from the agricultural zoning requirements to allow a limited lower intensity business use on the parcel located at 350 East and State Road 10, Knox, Indiana. Listing the parcel number 75-10-22-200-008-000-002. Where this project to proceed, it would be major benefit to agriculture, which is the backbone of Stark County. Respectfully signed, Stark County Farm Bureau Incorporated Board of Directors, President Tiffany Nagai. And our next one is, dear members of the Board of Zoning Appeals, I am writing in regard to request from Colton and Leah Lindback for a variance from the current agricultural zoning requirements on the parcel to a limited lower intensity business use on the property. I believe their goal is to utilize the space in a way that remains respectful of the surrounding agricultural area while allowing for a small scale business use that will not significantly impact traffic, noise, or the character of the neighborhood. I believe this request is reasonable and aligns with the spirit of zoning by supporting responsible land use while preserving the rural character of the area. They are committed to operating in a way that is considerate of neighboring properties. Thank you for taking the time to review the request. I appreciate your consideration and the work you do for our community. I am very supportive of the business idea and use of the land. Please feel free to reach out if there's any additional information that would be helpful prior to the meeting. Thank you. Charles Chesick, Stark County Commissioner.
okay. Any more questions, Phil?
Can I say something?
Yes.
Not one of these people live right where we live. Not one of them live right next door. We never got a notice that this meeting was happening. The only way we knew about it was 2 days ago. And they only got their certified letter yesterday. So none of us got to investigate this, look into it or anything. We knew nothing about it. It's like everybody's already known about it. Everybody knows but us. And we live right next door. So that's all I want to say. I'm his wife. Now he can talk.
Kind of what happened to me in the solar project.
Yeah. Well, we weren't that either, so.
Can I say something?
Yes, go ahead, Phil.
So I wonder what's going on.
All right, I've lived on the corner of 350 and State Road 10.
Just say your name and everything, Phil, for the
Oh, my
record.
name is Phil Johannan. and I lived there for 52 years, okay? So I've been involved with seeing people get in accidents down on 1035. There's a reason for that. There's too much traffic on that road. On the weekends, when people are busy, especially this spring and summer, when Chicago people are out there, that Highway 10 is a bad road to pull in and off of. And I was down each year, 1 to 2 people get killed down there at the junction of 10 and 35. And then they're talking about water having drainage, proper drainage. Well, that is a so-called ravine by NIPSCO's pole line there because they have an easement there, okay? And they're not gonna do anything with that ditch. We got high water problems. So if you think you're gonna drain water into that other ditch there that goes to the Cedar ditch, you're not, because it's a non-petition ditch. I care for it. I take care of it each and every year. I have it cleaned or have the brush chopped on it. So, but the water doesn't flow to the main ditch is because of its non-petition, and you can't get people to change their culvert out on 350. Water stops there, and that's the end of it. So any water that backs up in the property, you're gonna have trouble with. But the main trouble, I say, people getting killed on 1035, getting hurt real bad. We just had one not too long ago, got killed.
Right.
So I see that, and that's all I have to really say. I think it's a bad idea, and I'm against it. Let them take it someplace else, in a big open field somewhere, not around people.
Okay.
Phil, you said you live at 1035?
What's that?
You said you live there on 1035?
1035.
Right there, you're the one that
Outside?
has the little farmer's market there?
No, he lives towards Judson.
Towards Judson.
The
other corner
there-
of
there-
35.
right there,
And that ditch comes up past there to County Road 350. Well, it doesn't go anywhere because it's not, the culvert's too high. It needs to be all tore out, and the state won't do it. And the ditch it goes into is a non-petition ditch. That means anybody that wants to work on that ditch, I do, because I live right there. So that's about all I have to say. I'm against it, and I think it's a very bad idea.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm Mike Lord. I live up there in, just off of Highway 10. First thing, we talked about the people on the fruit stand. It's named Nick Martinez. We went and visited him today. He's bedridden. But he wrote me a note. We told him what happened. I'm bedridden and cannot attend the meeting tonight. I totally disagree with the meat processing on 35 and 10. Thank you. If you want to look at it, I've got it. I got on there, we talked to Leah on Sunday evening. Real nice conversation, both of them been very good. She's a class young lady, I'm sure you are too. But I got on today finally, and we found out this meeting, we got a registered letter, certified letter delivered today. Yeah, and so I got on there and internet, these are some things that I found. It says intense odors. Residents complain a lot about uncontrollable, overwhelming and rancid smells, often described as death or rotten material. Air pollution emissions. Operations can emit ammonia, hydrogen sulfide, and particulate matter, which can contribute to poor air quality. So I'm concerned about that. States have listed proximity to animal operations with increased risk of pneumonia, respiratory illness, and gastrointestinal infections. Bronchitis and asthma are two of the big things that happen with that. Concerns exist regarding fecal bacterial and nitrogen phosphorus runoff from plant wastewater contamination. And I know they can guarantee there's not going to be any of that. Sewage, they answered the question about sewage with the thing, so I don't worry about that. Answered the question I had about gradient, and what about you follow the EPA about the Clean Air Act and the Clean Water Act. Noise pollution. Processing plants and accompanying logistics generate constant high volume noise, including machinery, trucks, cars, and at times animal sounds. I don't imagine those animals are gonna be inside the whole time, are they? Will they be penned outside?
Are you allowed to answer?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so they will be outside, but everything's gonna be walled off, and two, they cannot be held for more than 24 hours.
Right, you're still gonna hear that sound, you can hear it from where we live.
Is there, no disrespect at all, but there's cows right across the road too, correct? I mean, from their property.
Bulls.
Okay, yeah.
And we never hear them or the goats.
Yeah, it'd be about the same.
Bill already mentioned heavy traffic and moves large trucks, semi-trailers and cars can cause congestion, safety hazards and noise. The intersection of 10 and 35 is always very dangerous. And putting a business that close to it will make it even more dangerous. There are gonna be cars turning down there to go to your meat thing and trucks bringing animals in, turning off 35 or coming up 10 toward 35, no problem. But turning off 35 of that will be a problem. So attracts an odor and organic waste can attract flies and rodents. Animal location, and I already asked that, would animal be housed inside or outside? You said what, they're kept 2 days before processing?
They can be up to 48 hours. Yeah.
The one that concerns me is the economic impact. You know, I'm retired teacher never made any money anyway. I love the job though. But depressed property values, studies show that the proximity of a meat processing facility with the smells, noise, and traffic often causes nearby home values to drop or stagnate. I don't want my home value to drop, because I'm not gonna be around much longer. I want her to be provided for a little bit. Malfunctioning equipment can cause sudden, acute, hazardous condition. So my question, last question I'm gonna close with, would you want a meat processing plant next to your home? Everybody coming up here, I guarantee you, unless the gentleman, he's got meat, you raise livestock. But most of you, none of you would want a meat processing plant next to your home. Think about it. And that's what you're saying. You control the zoning and John?
Yes, sir.
You read exactly everything I wanted to hear. You know what I'm saying? And right now, if you follow what he read, it's no. And there's gotta be more places in Stark County to help this young couple out to put a meat processing plant. But I don't want it up the road from me. And that's the thing I said, the concerns I have are legitimate.
In fact, our taxes also.
Well, if your property values go down, your property tax will go down.
Yeah, but if how much property value?
If the property values go down, your property taxes will go down.
Thank you.
Have you researched, just a question here, deceleration lanes or anything to, you know,
Yeah, so
like they're very, one of them, they have two, what I'm gathering is there's two major concerns with the neighbors. One is, odor, okay? And you, is there a lot of odor? You're not making a meat processing plant. You're making a meat like Royal Center meat processing facility,
Yeah, so
right?
the stall
And there's no semis going in and out. It's not gonna be
Correct.
that big,
Yeah,
right?
no semis at all.
Okay, so the concerns of some of the major concerns with the neighbors are, number one concern is they're concerned about about the odor and stuff like that, that could, you know, as part of the residuals. And then that seems to be very important to them, and I can understand that, I do.
Yes.
But as far as Highway 10 and 35, being that I've been there for 45 years, I do know that's a very dangerous spot anyway.
Yeah.
And that's why have you spoke to anybody from the state for deceleration lanes, or even inquired about maybe them putting up a stoplight to, you know, to help your business too? I mean, even places like, Save-A-Lot on 35 up there, you know, there's been an increased amount of accidents there, and it's understandable, people coming in and out.
Yes.
So, what is your answer to these people about their main question? The odor and, you know, and stuff like that. And I would be concerned if it's right next to my home. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not important till it's knocking on your door, you know?
Right.
So, what would your answer to these people be?
So, if I can,
Yes, please.
just to explain, we got the list of people that we had to send those to. So I'm really sorry if you didn't get them.
I just sent them to whoever was on the list.
We're just right there.
Right, I understand, I mean, I understand, but I don't, you know what I mean, I only sent them to who was on the list.
And they got theirs yesterday morning.
No,
They were this morning.
But you were in Florida, right?
The neighbor right across
but they,
by the highway, they didn't even get
No,
one.
they didn't get me.
We
I
went
mean,
there
I sent
today.
them, I have receipt proof, like I had to have them stamped, it was official, and didn't you say you were in Florida?
Yeah, we got all our mail,
So,
nothing in the
you
mail.
know, that kind of
But
goes
today
along
we
with
did
why you
receive
just got it.
certified one.
And then we even went, and I don't know exactly which house you are, but
There
we
was
didn't
the
have to
first
do
one
this, but
with the
we
swimming
went to, oh, okay. We did say, wonder why they didn't need to get one, I don't know. We went and left notes at everybody's door, because we weren't trying to bombard.
I wasn't on.
We didn't have your address.
Yeah, I didn't know, I said,
But they could kind of know like they did us.
right, I mean, I was trying to follow up with the certified mail, and then I wanted to explain more, because I didn't want it to come across like we were just being like this, you know.
Well, that's what it seems like to me because
Right.
everybody's prepared here.
Yeah.
I just found about it.
I
Yes,
don't,
I know.
yeah, I'm really
We
sorry
couldn't
about
even
that.
investigate anything.
I don't know your name, I don't know your
No
number.
answer.
Okay, well,
And we've been there 50 some years.
okay,
And he's older, and if he dies before me, I'm gonna have to sell that property.
right. You guys keep talking about the odor, we have to follow USDA guidelines, like I told you guys on the phone. The rendering plant comes, it goes in closed top drums, and it's picked up the very same day that it's killed. So there will be no dead animal, no carcass, no guts, none of that is happening. And as far as the stalls, we're not housing animals, we keep them overnight, maybe to kill them the next morning. And the stalls are clean, sprayed into a septic every day. So the smell you guys keep talking about, I get your thought is just automatically butcher shop stinks. We're gonna have a retail market, a nice cute little retail market on the front. Why would we have it smell bad and invite people to come buy our product? I think you have in your mind that we're trying to put up this eyesore that stinks and it's just terrible, but we're actually trying to make it nice for the community. And how nice would it be to walk across and get a steak?
Go find someplace else. That's the best of the practice.
Well, to answer your question about smell, that answered it.
For,
And what about the flies and stuff?
for.
I mean, but if there's not animals being.
They don't have
The swimming pool, my family comes.
I understand
We've
that,
got
if there's not animals being held there, how, you know what I mean, and there's not manure being held there, why would the flies come? You know,
A couple of things you brought up, Mr. Ward, I have answers for. So, the ammonia and some of that stuff that you mentioned, that is in much larger facilities used for cooling. We will be using, bigger than household, but essentially household air conditioning. So there won't be any ammonia or anything like that. It'll be regular 404A that uses those units. And then as far as the noise goes, with the units together without a noise wall, from what I was able to calculate, at about 100 yards, the noise will be no louder than a normal conversation, just because the way that noise dissipates. So at least I did have
Right.
two answers for you there as far as the chemicals in the air and stuff like that. We are not to that industrial scale.
Right,
To use
but the
those.
thing is though, you get sometimes, I'm very skeptical, get told certain things. You let it go, and when you, next thing comes in, it happened just the opposite, like you're getting slapped in the face. And as I said, you guys had the law down that it's not supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying? Because John read it.
John, the question I have for you is,
Can
with
I
the
just
revised
make-
sizing,
Say again, sir?
with the revised size that they provided, does that change your math?
You know, I tried to find, obviously, there's a shortage of meat processing and butchers in Stark County. So from what I can find, there's one in Groverton. They're sitting at about 6,000 square feet. I don't have much to compare it to. But when you start approaching 15 to 20,000, you're a little bit bigger than small scale local. You know what I mean? You are approaching industrial. Area.
Doing some measurements, just building size versus buildings in our industrial park. I don't know if you know the square footage of some of those. They're 170,000 square feet versus the under 16,000. So I mean, it's a
Yeah.
huge scale difference on industrial
And
size.
of,
of what the park can be.
Yeah, And
If I could,
yeah,
but you had said 1,800 square feet or 18,000.
It's the size isn't what makes it industrial. It's the industrialization that makes it
It's the
industrial.
usage, I get that.
Right, so I think 18,000 is a little bit bigger, but I'm not a farmer, I'm not a butcher, I don't know. I just know from an industrial standpoint.
Right, and that's why I asked.
It
So
looked bigger
you're
and
estimating that all your estimations at this size, the reality is it's more like this size. Does it change your math and how it will impact?
No, because my math wasn't, my
Okay.
math is strictly factored in zoning and what is allowed.
just a breakdown of the building as far as sizing and whatnot, since that's what we're on here at the moment. About 2,500 square feet will be proposed, will be retail space. About 6,000 square feet will just be freezer space. That's with the state and with local people around. That's what everybody runs out of because the animals have to hang before they can be processed. Cows usually have to go between 10 and 14 days. So that's the premium, is the cooler space there. We have about 2,000 square foot of the holding stalls. As far as the actual processing area, will only be 4,500 square feet. Everything else would be retail coolers, things where there's not exactly, I guess, less.
Yeah, I'm not looking at the actual slaughter of the animals. I'm looking at the full operation because it is a meat processing. So everything involved. I did count your stalls. I guess technically you can get away with not calling them square footage because they're stalls,
But it's under roof. So,
right. So
yeah.
the math under roof, again,
It's fine.
it's
I
just
just-
our view.
I'd just like to make a quick comment on the traffic. I know it's a concern, but you're never going to cut it back because those other corners are zoned commercial.
Yeah.
Somebody could build on those today. And there's a big sign up, right, that butts up against this land, commercial, for sale,
Mhm.
16 acre. And so it's a concern, it's a concern by me and my business. You know, but when you have traffic, you're just going to have it. It's very unfortunate, but my only point is you have two state highways. You're never going to be able to trim back traffic that's going to develop there, especially because the other property is already zoned commercial. And the small amount that a butcher shop will bring in. And when we're talking about square footage, I think that the retail should definitely be taken off, which is close to 3,000. But somebody could build there today and it's already zoned for that. And this is a small impact. It's not gonna be heavy traffic, no. So
I would-
just as regard to that.
I would like to add that commercial is zoned right next to it. The difference is it's industrial, right? Even in industrial zones, meat processing facilities and slaughterhouses require a conditional use variance from the BZA. So yes, people can build next door. The issue is what is being built, which is already a restricted business and.
I was just talking about traffic. I wasn't talking about.
Yeah, no.
I was just talking about the traffic flow.
Right.
You know, because this business could be built there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
agree.
wasn't saying they could put a shop there.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
Just to get a look, this one that I have highlighted in yellow right now, you could put essentially another stable lot right there without BZA approval.
Or Bailey's. Put a Bailey's.
That's, but I mean, it's not,
Yeah.
that one over there that's at the
Right,
intersection
correct.
is
Yeah, right.
commercial. Where they're looking at is on this parcel here.
Uh-huh,
Right there next to it.
all right. Yes,
Also, we have connected with the Indiana Department of Transportation. They will be the ones that will determine how far back from the intersection of 35 and 10 that the ingress egress to this lot must be. And NDOT will determine how the turning blisters need to be operated based on the traffic studies most likely. So that will all be addressed by NDOT with an access point on Highway 10.
Heard that before.
All right, sir, if you wanna close.
we're gonna close off public comments. At this time. And,
I got one more thing to say, Kenny.
yeah,
Can I say it or not?
sure.
If they knew that we were having this meeting here, we'd have had a lot more people here, but it was all a big secret. If they wouldn't have told us, the neighbors wouldn't have told us, we wouldn't have known anything about this.
So there are very specific requirements on who needs to be notified, and it's adjacent landowners. If you're 3 properties down, you're not gonna get notified. We did run it in the paper, which is a requirement, and it ran for at least 10 days, and we did publish it on our Facebook. I'm very good
So
about publishing.
You're all for this, right?
I'm all for, you had due process in the notification.
No, we didn't.
Nobody reads that.
How, why not?
We
We
didn't.
did, we can't notify half the county.
Well, we're not half. We live right on the corner.
How far away from that parcel do you live? How many parcels away do you live?
They live by us and right across the road is us.
So how many parcels? 2 parcels?
We're not land builders and stuff.
So they met the minimum requirement for notification of the hearing. We went above and beyond by notifying on
So
Facebook.
you didn't think I needed to be notified, right?
I
live
think
right there.
they are not required to notify any more than the state says that they would notify. I'm not required to notify you on Facebook, but I post it on Facebook so everyone can find it. And it is posted in the paper for 10 days.
Well, we're here. and
Minimum.
We're here and we're against
The
it.
leader?
So
Nobody
That's
buys
pretty-
the leader.
I don't, the state says they do because you have to post it. So we are doing our best to notify. We do understand, however, one of them was received this morning.
This one.
this morning,
So they're-
Unfortunately, the state doesn't mandate how soon before the hearing you have to receive it, just that you do have to.
They were postmarked within 12 days. I
Right.
think is what it was.
Yes.
They were postmarked.
So we can give you, I know for a fact, my certified mail is, I sent one February 2nd. I'm still waiting for the return. So
So that makes it okay.
it makes it out of our hands.
Yeah.
you're just passing the buck. That's all you're doing.
Could be, it's very well possible.
Okay, when the public comments are closed at this time. I'll turn this over to the board for any comments. Board members?
When you guys discuss, you need to please answer these questions, because I have to.
Yes, where are them questions? Can you please read them again?
Sir, you have it in front of you.
I had it to be shuffled up.
You want those 17?
Yeah,
Yep, 72. It's on the second page, section B, use variance.
second page, which one? This is, hold on. You got all the late paperwork laying here. Much worse than that. Okay. There it is. All right. One public hearing, public health and safety. Will the approval be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare? And then number 2, adjacent property. Will the use and value of the adjacent area be adversely affected? Number 3, does the property have a peculiar condition that makes it unsuitable for the permitted uses in its current zoning district? Number 4, does the strict application of the ordinance constitute an unnecessary hardship? And then that'd be statutory test question, is the hardship strictly financial in nature, or was the situation self-created by the applicant? And then number 5, does the approval substantially interfere with the county comprehensive plans? Those are the questions. Okay. Turn it over to the board members.
Yeah, thank you.
Any thoughts on that? I don't really see anything myself.
Well, there are a number of thoughts. Like I understand, I've been through Plymouth by the rendering plan. That is the concern of the smell.
Right.
That's a whole different,
It's totally different.
That's where we would send ours. The
Right.
bad smell's not gonna be with us, it would be there.
I have been by the Tyson plant in Logansport, same thing. But I've also been through the one in Royal Center and Mohawk. and you didn't even know they were there.
Yeah.
So. Like, I don't know what they did in Plymouth and they did in Logan.
I have been into one in Royal Center and I can honestly say I didn't smell, and they were cutting the meat. Right there in the next room over. I didn't smell anything that was obnoxious, you know, and
Right.
myself, you're not running a great big giant like we're not talking Tyson size buildings here, and we're not talking you know, semi trucks and cattle trucks
Right.
going in and out around the clock, you know, and I don't, other than the neighbors' concerns of possible odor, you know, but in all honesty, I don't foresee like a hog farm being right there. I lived by a hog farm too, and the wind was right, I'll tell you what.
And I will say, Kenny, they got long roads still. IDEM's gonna put them through the loop and
Yeah.
they ain't gonna let it out there if it's not right.
Yeah.
They already made that mistake once in the county.
So why don't we table a decision until we get the rest of your.
I believe they need our
Can't-
approval
they need
before they can move.
Hey,
There's a condition to that, right? So all approvals require a majority of the board, not just the board president. So if there is a nay amongst you three, they do not have enough to pass. Okay, so all three of you must approve.
Right.
So if you don't have enough information or you need more time, it is beneficial to table it and then we move it instead of killing it because
Right.
not all three of you approve. So there is that to think of.
And you said there was one up in Groverton?
Yes.
Yeah,
Sailors
there's
and all
one.
of them.
Sailors,
Sailors
yeah.
is up there.
Up to the board to.
Yeah.
You got a motion?
I'm a motion to approve. They got a long road ahead of them.
I would make a motion to table.
If you're gonna approve, I need you to answer every single question. I motion to approve because it will not affect the health. And it will not affect, you see what I'm saying? That's why I gave you the scratch so you guys can
Mike,
build it.
as much as I hate to do it to them, I say we table it until next meeting. And go up to Sailors. I've never been up there. Invite the neighbor to go up there.
Yeah, so the type of facility that Sailors is running and the type of facility that we are running are not quite the same. Just
Okay.
throwing that out there.
I believe they're custom exempt. That's their,
Not
they're not
USDA.
USDA or ISDA.
Yeah, so the way that we're gonna be running, we will have state and federal inspectors in there weekly. At least once a week, if not twice a week on the state and federal side, maintaining processes and checking every single animal that comes through there. Sailors is a custom exempt. They don't have any of that. They kind of do their own thing specifically for their animals to go back to that farmer only. That's the difference there. Okay, available for the farmers to sell to the public, for us to sell to the public, for restaurants to buy. That's the difference in the two processes.
Gotcha. Is it, you've been up there then?
Yeah.
As far as the area around it is similar to what you're expecting or?
Oh, they got neighbors all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I don't know how to answer that. Exactly.
Based on the GIS map, they have more of a scattered building approach than one consolidated.
Okay.
Correct.
Location.
Yeah, there we go. That was the question. Sorry, I didn't know how to answer that.
No, and that, it's fine, like you said, it's the nearest closest thing, and I understand that you guys want to put this behind you, but as much as I hate to do it to you, I'd rather at least go up there and be like, okay. Like, yeah, what is the smell? That's a major concern.
Yeah. That's it.
I would pick a different one, maybe. That's USDA, with all respect, like, that's USDA just because we have to meet the, you know what I mean? If you want to get the exact
There's,
example, I would
No,
use
I'm
the
familiar.
exact
Vaguely, yeah.
example.
we can provide board or whoever needs to addresses of similar plants that we're kind of modeling off of if there was one that they wanted to go see, that they wanted to go do,
Reasonable?
you know,
Whatever you think is reasonable, sir.
at least give you an option if you wanted to. I mean, you could GIS it and Google Maps it from there and make a phone call if you wanted to, but at least to get you guys some more information as to what exactly we're aiming for here. That would
Right,
be okay,
absolutely.
because there are some kind of very similar building style, size, and structure.
Thoughts on that, Michael?
So your motion's to table it.
Indeed it is.
For how long?
For the month.
So we can't do the month. It would go into the next available slot.
So it'll go out to almost June.
Oh,
They would get pushed to the end of the line, otherwise we're messing with timelines that
And
everybody.
we've already got legal notices mailed out.
Yeah.
April, maybe
we can only
possibly.
have 3. That's actually true.
Well,
We can only have 3 per.
following time and then the budget for meetings a month.
So you can do 4 per, but you're gonna be pushing 10, 11 o'clock.
Yeah, we got another.
So right now, April is filled, May just filled. So you would be at the second Wednesday in June.
Gotcha. I don't like that either.
And then obviously, we'll have to reissue public notices, put it back in the paper. It'll restart their process minus what's discussed.
You know, in all honesty, I feel, I got compassion for the neighbors because I do know what it feels like to have something, put on you that you have no control over. I do, I really do. And, I didn't know this job was gonna be as tough as it is because there's a good thing to do and there's a thing to do. And sometimes the thing to do isn't always in the best interest of those who are immediately affected. That's my view. And to me, the thing to do is, I don't vision any harm in having a facility that the county can use. I mean, in all reality, we can use it, but then again, my compassion goes to the neighbors because they do have concerns. They don't want, I gotta deal with this, power station right next to me, that I didn't want, and but and I've had hog farms south of me, and it was pretty bad too, but, it is something in my view that the county does need, a good quality, a meat cutting place. Providing it's limited, if you got an enclosure, you're running a good business, USDA, you're following all the state guidelines. And if there's some type of, ease you could put on your neighbors, work with your neighbors. And, if they have any complaints, I would ask that you would address it, providing I was to lean your way. There's, I think, I personally don't see a problem if all the I's and T's, or I's are dotted and T's are crossed, and there's no harm to the neighbors, That's my only concern. Other than that, I don't. I'm not I'm not against it, you know. Everything I've heard is positive. For the county, speaking for the county, you know, for the Stark County, I think we need this. And being that you're gonna run a storefront out of the front of it, I'm sure it's not gonna stink. You'd run your customers off, you know, it's a store.
Yeah.
We could all use a store. I mean, sometimes we're limited. All we got is what, 5 star for me to, you know, maybe save a lot. So my personal thoughts are, I don't see a problem with it, you know. And that's the hard part about this position that I'm sitting in. It does bother me, you know. If a person has a conscience and compassion, this job is not easy. I didn't know what the hell I was getting into, man, when I took this on. I swear to you. You know, our commissioners had enough, you know, trust in me to make tough decisions, and I'm a decision maker. My personal view is I don't have I can't see enough in me I can't see enough bad. I've seen nothing bad, actually, to deny personally, so. Um, anybody want to make a motion?
I'm gonna make my motion to still approve, public health and safety. IDEM's gonna take care of that wastewater stuff, guaranteed, soil tests, especially with the meat packing. They're not gonna let that slide. Adjacent properties, I hate to use it, but you're surrounded by solar anyways, so I'm sorry, but
We don't have any solar around us.
you can for sure see it from your house.
No.
No, they put up trees around it.
Oh, okay, well,
The only way you're gonna get quiet in neighbors is if they put in a cemetery.
it's gonna stay with it.
Could you just explain about why did you think my taxes are gonna go lower?
If your property values go down, your property taxes will also go down. Because your property
Okay.
taxes.
He's in the middle of a motion.
Juice.
So adjacent property, well, I need something more than you're surrounded by solar. Like you do not believe,
Oh, I don't believe the smell's gonna affect them, the traffic, I think more activity by that intersection may slow people down.
Oh.
They're not. They're not 3 miles and nothing. There's stores before they get that to start slowing them
No, they
down.
don't.
I believe it's
That's
possible.
why there's people killed there every year. Every year.
You live in Oxford, that's.
Knox, I live in Knox.
You put.
It's a commercial zone next door.
Find out how many people.
all right, so what is this for? You're still
The,
in 2,
no, the 3.
Power too, okay?
Yeah.
and so. You believe it does not have a peculiar condition because.
It's commercially zoned next door. The property. And for 4, I think this might cover that. Good for the county, people can't get their 4-H animals processed in a timely manner. Everyone's always full, wait's full.
So number 4, a hardship does exist, but the hardship exists with the county, not specifically with the landowner.
Correct. And the need for processing. And I don't believe that it interferes because we have the special regulations for food processing that follow, and they have to deal with IDEM and tons of other state regulation.
Sir, You have a motion?
You want me to make a motion?
No, he made
I
a.
made, you made your motion again, please?
He made a motion to approve.
Approve.
Okay, do I hear a second?
I'm not ready to second it.
So if I second it, then,
Can he second it?
no, I don't think
You're
I
the chair,
can.
you can't.
I
but-
can't.
So if he doesn't second it, the motion dies.
Okay,
This is why I wanted to table it.
You can modify
Much
your
as I hate
motion
it.
to table, or you can stick with it the way it is.
Cause I mostly agree with you. But I
Uh,
want to confirm.
yeah, let's not kill this. I'm gonna modify my motion. Yes, it goes out to like April.
It'll be June, the second week in June.
I apologize for that.
Well, we'll get it all right.
All right, so you make the motion to table until the next available hearing.
I make the motion to table to the next available public hearing. Is there a second?
That'll be in April.
Is there a second?
No.
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 You said
June.
Sorry.
Mike.
Yeah, I'll second that one.
huh?
All in favor?
Yeah. You
I gotta say that second.
I mean, you seconded
Yeah.
it? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Motion was made to table this until June. And that way, anything else that you guys need to get done or want to get done for the next meeting. And any research you would maybe want to contact with the state about. Inquire about maybe a stoplight or what about your acceleration lanes.
I don't do that.
Well, I'm just gotta tell them, you know, they're the ones that's.
They won't
Table.
put light down there and just that little one right there.
Okay, anyway, you know what I said, I mean, it'll give you more time. To do some more research and the people that are concerned maybe can get out and maybe go visit some of these small meat cutting places. I'd hate to use the term as a processing plant. You know, that's to me, it sounds like something, a big operation, you know. But you're talking a small plant, pretty good sized building to contain it all, but it's not from what I can see, it's not a monstrous operation. That's why I felt the way I did, you know. So let's table this. And continue it. Okay?
If you could just send, I guess, to her,
Yeah, she's got all the
the
info.
list of like some in the area about the right same size and such.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah, I'll work with you on right.
Motion, let's see, we got another case coming up.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, boy, there's. Should have done that one last, huh? Variance and property with the second wrong word tonight.
Right.
We gotta go through all this again.
Yeah, if you wanna stop by the office tomorrow, they can house you.
Perfect.
I get paid less the whole team here, that would be great.
Richard, June?
Yep.
Okay.
So
You could use June, not June. I know, no. You must be worried about the taxes. I'm not worried about it. Did you have this one from the neighbor? Not going down because. And they're gonna go up steadily the last 3 or 4 years.
Right, if you're talking property taxes, right?
Okay, fair. Mr. Eagle, you got one more case still.
Sorry. I'm happy to do that.
About the taxes.
Yeah. It's a percentage of the assessed value. If the assessed value goes down,
So,
the percentage stays the same taxes, but.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
they're not gonna get much. There, my son Jason.
it's tough.
Yeah.
I-
Means your brother.
The only people I'm waiting on to tell you.
I'm so familiar with that.
And lower.
This parcel, this parcel.
They
this
don't,
one,
the
this one,
drainage,
This parcel, this parcel.
the
this one,
drainage,
We will not get
commission
anybody on
doesn't
this side
handle
unless
that.
somebody owns all
They
this.
say it's a no.
and that's not a registered ditch. Commission?
It's,
Somebody go.
no, it's not registered.
Okay, it's not a Fells ditch or nothing like that.
Well, the cedar ditch is right
But yeah,
behind
as
us.
far as
That
anybody
is.
in the county.
But the
said
ditch
they
I
know
got-
under for
I
position
went
for approval.
Water.
Yeah.
Right, thank you.
Back then, what school I have to maintain it myself. I pay Shannon every 2 years to drive.
Maybe got two
It's
school boards.
Mr. Eagle. Quite a bit of money.
Sir. Oh, sorry.
All right.
Okay, all right, buddy. Okay. Man. Oh, boy. All right, where we at here? The Mansons. All right. We ready to move on?
Yes. Yes.
Already. Petition number 3, Eric and Kelsey Manson. Owners of John and Laura Redkowski. Request for a variance property. In Grovertown. Parcel number 75-03-22-100-004. Period. 0000009. And that petition is what?
Yep, so I'll read with this one. This is for a variance of use. It's to allow a second residence on a single parcel. The key issue is this is not permitted under the current zoning district. Pursuant to the Article 6. Dash 12 dash.
Can you ask the gentleman that?
Yeah, we need to close that door. He would.
This is a youth
Okay.
variance? This is a youth variance? Mine says developmental.
It should be developmental. Because yes, it is developmental, standard variance.
Okay.
This is to dwelling, unit serving as a principal structure must be located on a lot or parcel as the only principal building on the lot or parcel. Additionally, Article 6 further states that the ordinance prevents 2 principal dwellings on the same property in areas not zoned for multiple dwelling units. Therefore, 2 principal dwellings on a single parcel are not permitted unless specifically authorized through zoning classification or variance. The address is at 9495 East, 600 North. I'm gonna go through a couple things. This is public notice. As noted in the earlier case, only adjacent connecting property owners or across the street directly will receive a certified mail letter. All other notices are posted publicly, and in the paper. We'll go over the property information. The parcel is a 40-acre parcel. There's currently a single family home and the request is for a single family home with a second dwelling for a mother-in-law. The proposed use would be a developmental standards variance to permit 2 single family residential dwellings on a 40-acre agricultural parcel that currently has approximately 290 feet of road frontage, which is just shy of having 300 feet for 2 parcels to split and build on. The surrounding zoning and land use is ag. If you can see, this is 600 North here. This is the parcel, it comes back, so this is the 40 acres. This is a zoomed in portion of just this right here. So currently there is a house well, a pole barn here, a house here, a milk house here, and a proposed house to be built here. So here are some Google Maps, like this would be the entrance. Here is one from the east facing view. And one from the west facing view. See the entrance there. The facts of finding, John's gonna go through these real
Like I said,
quick.
I apologize. Okay, so this is for development standard variance. Public health, safety, morale, and general welfare. Will the approval be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community? The staff finds no. There is no indication that the variance will be injurious to public health, safety, morals, or general welfare, provided the second dwelling meets all applicable building codes and secures necessary approvals from the county health department for septic and well capacity. Impact on adjacent property. Will the use and value of the area adjacent to the property be affected in a substantially adverse manner? The staff finds no. The nearest neighboring dwelling is located approximately 400 feet away, providing a substantial physical buffer. Furthermore, the proposed mother-in-law suite is a customary residential use that is compatible with the surrounding area and will not negatively impact adjacent property values. Practical difficulty. Does the strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance result in a practical difficulty in the use of this property? The statutory question, is the difficulty strictly financial in nature, or is the situation self-created by the applicant's own actions? The staff finds no, a practical difficulty does not exist. The strict application of the zoning ordinance does not prevent the reasonable use of this parcel. The request is primarily a personal convenience based on the applicant's desire for multi-generational living. Furthermore, the proposed plans submitted to the office involve the creation of a tiny home of 416 square feet, which is a direct violation of Stark County zoning standards. A variance should not be granted simply to legitimize a zoning violation or bypass established minimum dwelling requirement for the owner's convenience.
And there was one already though?
Say again?
Are you saying?
Yes, the understanding is that there is a home on the property. They're going to remodel the current chicken coop into a small tiny home and build a new home and demo the old home on the property. So the mother-in-law suite is approximately 416 square feet based on the plans that were submitted to us.
So I'm gonna go through a little bit there are some more pictures that Kelsey supplied to the group. And they also had their facts of findings. I'm gonna read those out. But the property is zoned agricultural, single-family residential, which permits only one principal dwelling per the parcel. The parcel is unusually deep and with limited road frontage, making subdivision or creation of a complement or compliant second lot impractical. The hardship was not self-created as the parcel existed prior to current frontage requirements. The request seeks only one additional dwelling for family care, requesting the minimum variance necessary. The second residence will remain residential in nature and compatible with surrounding agricultural and rural properties. Granting the variance will not alter the rural character of the area or significantly impact traffic or neighboring properties. This is be the one that would be converted.
Milk house, chicken house.
That is the structure according to plans. That is 416 square feet. For an ag zone, the minimum square feet is 900, right? 900 square feet.
This would be the interior remodel. This would be the site plan, for where the existing structure is on the property, up on the hill. This was the submitted site layout, which I kind of walked through on the other one, but here is the pole barn from that view on the road. The current house. The milk parlor house, and then the new build construction. This is the driveway. That would be the submitted house plans. I have not received any public comment for this. In the office, this time it's. That's all we have is the staff report on this one.
One floor with a basement.
Public comment, sir. or petition, I mean.
What am I? So you're wanting to take that small. Is that what it is? It's a milk house? Or is it a shed or what was this thing?
I don't, it's been called the milk house for so long that we don't actually know what it was. It does have like a, what's the reason?
Like a. Well, it's got a concrete floor and it's solid block all the way around. They know those, I think they built it and they kept.
House
Yeah.
in the basement at some point. It wasn't.
What we're asking here is, this is for your mother-in-law? What are you gonna do with this thing?
So the plan is, the parcel, there's actually 15 other acres that are in, we are in contract with also, so there's actually 55 acres altogether.
Wait a minute, contract, what are you talking about?
We're in a land contract with Laura. And
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you own it.
Right.
Okay.
That's what I'm
All
saying.
right.
We're in a land contract currently. So there's 15 other acres to the side of that also that we are.
The side of that red, long, line
Right,
there?
where Amber's,
Oh, that area?
yeah,
So you got 15 more gonna be tied on to your property.
there's 55.
Okay,
acres.
so, I do know the ordinance says you want
A second dwelling as well,
a second dwelling.
as mother-in-law's.
Two variances.
Can I?
Single.
So on that, yes, they did request a variance for a second dwelling on the property. If an additional variance that they not apply for is not approved, which would be the tiny home, then you will approve the variance for the second dwelling, but I will not issue a permit because they don't have a variance for the size of the home. So to make that very transparent, I don't want you guys to walk out here and you got half of the puzzle you need.
Right.
You will need two variances to accomplish this.
Or build.
Or build a
above
bigger
900
home,
Square
right.
feet.
Take that chicken coop, make an addition that's an
Add on.
additional 600 square feet, and then you have 1,000 square feet,
Yep,
I thought,
add on to it.
what's the minimum?
900.
Ag, 900, R2 and R3.
I was
or you can
telling
do
them,
a 7 and
they
a
would
900.
need,
Sure.
you know, what is it,
500.
418, so they need 500. And it would be a challenge because it was a chicken coop or a milk house or whatever it was never a dwelling. So to repurpose that into a dwelling, would
Yeah.
probably cost more than it's worth. But that's between you guys. I'm just letting you know that they do need two
Yep.
variances.
That was pretty much it, right?
Finish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. Like we said, it's a friend of the family that owns it now that we're in land contract with. So our plan was to build our forever home out there eventually, which is the second structure. My mother-in-law is an interior designer, so she designed all that for us. That's how we have those renderings. Great thing to have in family. But we wanted to make the milk house into a tiny house so we could live there for now. We would like to put our home up for sale as well. We currently live in Argus. Financially, we would rather not have both. We want to live where we want to live forever. So we wanted to live in a tiny house, make it livable for us for the moment. And then in a few years, when we are able to financially, to build the forever home there. And then,
So you have a home on that property beside that milk house thing, right?
so that house has not been lived in 30+ years, and most of it has fallen down. And with the storms and with the trees that we took down, it pretty much just
So
came down.
that milk house is in better condition than the home that's on there.
Yes,
So you're wanting to temporarily live in this milk house, just temporarily, till you get your home built. Okay, but not a permanent status, just temporarily.
no, after that, it would be more like a hangout edition.
So you're-
I mean, we do have family. I don't want to say this because our families are kind of young. My hope is to not have a mother-in-law, father-in-law living out there. The house that we want to build is going to be two
bedrooms. We don't have any children. So mother-in-law suite is like a term, I guess, but what we really want to do is build a tiny home so we can live in it for now and then make it like a camp kind of something. We've hunted out there forever, so if we have guests over, if we have my mom over, she can stay out there on her own. But it wouldn't be like not actually like a second dwelling, it's more like I don't know what to call it. It'd be a dwelling for us for now, then we build our home and then it's used for.
When do you plan on building a home?
What's that?
When do you plan on building your house?
My goal is 3 years financially.
Are you gonna live in this? You're wanting to live in this little tiny spot here for 3 or 4 years, or?
That's the plan.
I've done number stuff, so.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, tiny homes are a thing, but yeah, we watch Homestead Rescue a lot, so we've been talking about, like we want to garden and.
But the county ordinance says, there's an ordinance, right, that says you can't do that.
John, real quick.
It's up to the building commission.
If the current building on the property is not habitable, how would that affect requiring a variance?
They wanted to get the variance because they're gonna live in the tiny house. We're gonna pretend that house that fell down is already gone.
Okay, so.
She wants to build though a new house, so then there will be two livable structures on the parcel.
So I guess
I'm missing something.
I am not missing something, but the timelines are not making sense. So
Sure.
I have a proposed build site for a new home.
Yep.
I have a home that is currently uninhabitable, and I have a home that wants to be remodeled. My understanding of the case was that they were going to remodel the tiny home.
Yep.
And live in it.
Yep.
While the old home was demoed and the new home was built. So.
You see where I'm going then?
Yes, if that home is in an unsafe building state, and I can see it from the road, I doubt I can. It would be, there'd be an order to demolish anyway. So they could rebuild within a year, right? But I don't know, we don't know. Because we don't know when it was destroyed, right? So, I guess if you wanna look at it technically, based on their current timeline, their variance would be strictly tiny home based, square footage living area based. And then when the time came to build, they would have to come back to the BZA
For the second dwelling.
to request a second dwelling. Or yeah, to request second dwelling would be the easiest way.
Have you guys gotten estimates on refabbing that thing? I've done it before. It's not fun.
For sure.
But,
My husband is an HVAC guy, so he was doing all of that. We would be doing all of that. Our contractor guy is sitting back there too. He's here for moral support. But he's actually going to build the home later. He's a contractor for that.
The permanent home.
Yes, the forever home, we call it.
Remodeling is still roughly $100 a square foot. So you're looking at roughly 40,000 to remodel.
Yeah.
And they're prepared to put in septic and well, there's another.
Yeah.
20,000.
Yeah.
Just sanity checking.
All right, sir, public comment? You wanna open it
Yeah, public comment, please. We'll open this up at this time.
for pros first?
Your name and where you live
My
and.
name's John Sheets. I live the next property. You, John? No,
No,
I live the next house west.
in front of Joe's.
I don't know these folks. I never met them until just now. But that house is in very bad shape. Even to fixing it up, it's gonna be tough to live there, in my view. But if that's the case, that's gonna make them speed up the construction. of the good house. At least that's what I would do.
We're trying.
And I admire your gumption to want to do that. That's tough. And you gotta have your mother or somebody's mother-in-law live there.
We're probably not, we're hoping not to. We don't wanna jinx anything wrong.
But you guys longevity on the fly.
I appreciate being an old man.
All right.
I appreciate your concern for your relation, whatever it is. I'm all for it. But that's just me.
Okay,
So that it's still open to the public. Their intent is to live there. I don't know that it would ever be a permanent resident for anyone. It's more like a guest house. And, you know, clubhouse, people do that all the time in places. You have horses, you put a little living quarters in your pole barn and somebody can sleep there. That's what this is intended to be.
Is there gonna be a kitchen? And bathroom?
Well,
That's where the law changes from, you know, a clubhouse into a dwelling is once you add that kitchen area to prepare food and a restroom to evacuate the food that you prepared. I don't know how else to put it. But I mean,
They intend it to be enough of a living space for people to spend the night. So certainly you need restroom facilities and hot water and all, you know, you need living space, of course. And I guess my question is, so that they know what to do moving forward, is if they connected it to the new dwelling, does that make it one dwelling? Because certainly they could build a 6,000 square foot house there with 4 bedrooms. And the septic would allow for that. So if they're not asking for more square feet or more bedrooms or more capacity than is allowed. It's just that they want this to be separate because they are separate. They're not asking for some, you know, place to house 50 people. They're asking for a place for 3 bedrooms. They just want them in 2 different buildings.
I guess the issue where we're at right now is you need a variance for size, not dwelling.
There's no current
Technically,
dwelling on the home or on the parcel.
you still will only have one dwelling for the time being.
so to clarify, they're both developmental use variances, so it's okay.
Fantastic.
any more public comments? Okay, I'm gonna close public comments at this time. Anybody have a motion?
Well, you gotta. The question, sir.
I gotta go
Always
through
gotta
all the
discuss
steps
the
every
questions.
time?
Every time.
That's what you've done.
Okay. Yeah, all right. And here we go. Number 1, public health and safety. Will the approval be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare? Right?
No, it is their primary residence.
Right. Will the use of and value of the adjacent area be adversely affected?
No, probably helped, but it's sorry.
Okay. 3, does the property have peculiar condition that makes it unsuitable for the permitted uses in its current zoning district?
I would say
You're in
yes.
the wrong one, sir. You're in use variance. You need to be on developmental. I thought it was me for a second. It's getting late, but no, go to the
Yeah,
first
that's
page.
what it is, it's getting late, huh?
Yep, go to the first page. You want section A. You guys are answering those questions.
Yeah.
You're still on 3rd page.
Section
Public
A.
health, safety and morals.
There you go.
Impact on adjacent property.
So you got the first 2, but the 3rd question is not the same question.
You probably asked the wrong.
C, D, E.
It doesn't
Am I
matter.
at? They're all the same. Oh, man, here.
Right there.
Oh, number 3. Okay, partial, practical difficulty. Does the strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance result in a practical difficulty in the use of the property.
I would say yes, there's no house on the property.
Okay. Now. Now I go to, as the applicant provided sufficient evidence demonstrating that the meet all the specific conditions, development standards required by the Stark County zoning ordinance. This,
Sir, where are you finding that at?
I don't know, I'm on section C here.
Yeah, you don't have to,
Nope, just section A.
you just section A, all they're
Oh,
asking for
good.
is developmental use, you don't answer the whole page. The whole-
There's a procedural page that we have to follow now, and then they have to excuse me, I apologize, because it's my first time at bat here as far as being taken over the president's spot. So where are we at now then?
All right, so we're good.
Okay.
Gentlemen, same thing. If you make a motion, it has to say because and then answer every question, whether it's yes or no.
I move to approve because they're building their primary residence. They will have positive impact on adjacent land. They're just living their life
Why would it have positive impact?
because they're gonna get rid of the old torn down building and live there.
And clean the property.
Putting a restaurant.
All right, last one.
Yeah, and then, yes, a practical difficulty exists. There's no dwelling on the property. Now. The only stipulation that I would like to make is that it is not to be used as a rental. Is that valid? I'm asking you out on this procedural.
Sir, that's on you. If you say it will not be used for Airbnb or
Yeah.
VRBO.
No issues there?
Okay,
Not to-
it will not be used as a rent.
I don't like people that much to have people out there that I don't know.
That it?
Just say.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a motion then,
Yep, I will second that motion.
okay? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Question.
Too late. So we just,
What did you approve? The original,
The size.
No, so they're gonna approve, they will allow them to remodel the chicken coop house, egg, milk, whatever house. Into a tiny home based on the plans you guys submitted
With the size that it is right now.
with the current size.
but it's not approving the second dwelling.
No.
No, not yet.
Please do that until we.
Right, that would
Right,
be.
so in 4 years, they'll come back and say, hey, or you can
Going through the same thing.
park an RV on the property, get a temporary RV pit thing, and then you don't even need to come to the BZA, demo your tiny home and build your house. So the next step is definitely, you don't need the BZA if you wanted to, you could rent an RV. Yep, pull a demo permit, knock down the chicken coop.
Do we have to look it down or can we?
No, you just gotta make it to where you gotta get rid of the kitchen and the bathroom. Yep,
Okay.
Can you have a bathroom but no kitchen?
it's a chicken coop.
No, is it considered a dwelling? If you have a bathroom but no kitchen?
You have to have both, one or the other makes it a dwelling, like
Okay.
a bedroom is no different than a cabinet would.
Yeah, no.
You know,
I just was curious.
you'd have to cap the septic, or like he suggested, if you wanna build 6,000 square feet. And connect the roof lines, your chicken coop to your home, you could do that as well.
So I have not found that.
But okay.
Meetings are getting longer and I apologize for all my mistakes, I really do.
All right,
Yes.
I
Yes, thank you.
sorry it took so long.
All right.
Last one, yeah.
I'm glad we went last.
Get someone out of here, because I have also.
Oh, motion to adjourn.
I